Whether it's performing brain surgery, defusing a bomb, or walking a tightrope at 1,600 feet above sea level, the margin for error is so small, it is practically non-existent. But this is the same reality faced by the adrenaline junkies who choose to satisfy their thirst for speed on one of America's most notorious motorways. A place where all it takes is just one tiny mistake. However, if we're being fair to all parties involved, the blame is not the fault of only these men and women risking their lives. An enabling environment was created for this to happen. The monster created by the American government had risen out of the very dust to haunt them. It is commonly said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Well, this is a road, sure enough, a symbol of the remarkable craftsmanship and innovation behind American engineering. But it has also transported many societal deviants to the great beyond with anything but good intentions. Something of an intrinsically positive nature has become so twisted to serve an unexpected purpose: unsanctioned, unmonitored, and illegal street racing. Not just street racing, but street racing at breakneck speeds. Literally. This is the story about the LBJ Expressway, the one-stop hotspot for thrill seekers from within America's borders. Today's story is about the Autobahn, but the very idea of the Autobahn did not begin in America. No, to properly understand this, we need to take you back to where it all began, across the ocean and lying below the Baltic Sea, the home of the magnificent Bavarian Alps, Germany. Officially known as Autobahn, it translates literally to mean Federal Car Runway. Today it stretches over 8,192 miles, making it the third longest system in the world behind the US and China. When you consider the size of Germany compared to other nations, you realize that it is quite an extraordinary feat to have achieved. The roots of the Autobahn can be traced back to the 1920s during the Weimar Republic era, when the need for a fast and reliable road system became evident. In 1921, a professor named Ferdinand Porsche proposed the idea of a high-speed highway, envisioning a network of smooth, unrestricted roads that could facilitate rapid transportation and, as a consequence, improve economic growth. Construction for the Autobahn project began in 1933, with the road network being strategically designed to connect major cities and industrial centers, boosting trade and enhancing the mobility of both people and goods. As far as the construction techniques went, they were groundbreaking for their time and stood head and shoulder above everything before it. German engineers employed advanced methods such as reinforced concrete to create durable and long-lasting road surfaces. The highways that make up the German Autobahn feature wide lanes, gentle curves, and limited access points, allowing vehicles to travel safely at high speeds. In a manner of speaking, the innovations employed in the creation of the Autobahn practically set the standard for modern highway design today. After World War II, the Autobahn had to undergo a series of significant repairs and reconstruction, gradually regaining its economic importance, especially in the post-war economic recovery of West Germany. It expanded over the following decades, and today stands as a symbol of German engineering prowess and efficiency. But here's the interesting part. Although there are sections of the Autobahn that have implemented speed limits, a good portion of it operates without them. Known as unrestricted zones, drivers get to experience the exhilaration of maintaining unbelievable speeds without fear. This has turned the Autobahn into a magnet for high-speed enthusiasts from every continent in the world, with everyone wanting a taste for themselves. Drivers with high-performance cars relish the opportunity to push their machines right up to the very limit and see just how far they could go, with some people going through the hassles of flying their cars into the country. But now, let's put a pin in that and cut back to America and one of its most iconic subcultures, street racing. Americans would race anything, from snails on tabletops to races in potato sacks and speeding go-karts around pre-designed tracks. Racing has been ingrained into the core of American culture. The history of street racing in America is as rich as it is controversial, deeply rooted in the country's love for automobiles and speed. In the mid-20th century, Young enthusiasts seeking the thrill of competition formed the foundation of the popular subculture in America.
A 24-car jalopy race on a dirt track.
Beginning from soldiers in the post-World War II era, who found themselves captivated by the power and speed of military vehicles, they modified, upgraded, and reconstructed their cars, seeking to replicate the adrenaline rush they experienced on the battlefield. During this time in the 1960s, Ford, GM, and Stellantis, which was formerly Fiat Chrysler automobiles, were battling it out to create the ultimate horsepower machine. Naturally, the street racing capital of the world was found in Detroit, Michigan, where the big three of American muscle cars are headquartered. Movies also played a significant role in shaping the notion of street racing in America, perfectly capturing the thrill and danger associated with driving at high speeds. The Fast and the Furious franchise, launched at the turn of the 21st century, is a name that comes up in discussions about street racing and is still in the business of releasing more speed-centered movies even today. Other influential movies like American Graffiti and Bullet romanticized the idea of drag racing and escaping high-speed police chases. More recent movies like Baby Driver and the Transporter franchise highlight the thrill of having a skilled driver at the wheel and the more illegal application of driving. While not all of us can have a can of nitrous connected to our car's engine or have custom-made spoilers mounted behind our car, there are those who do not have inhibitions in that regard. The market for visual performance and body parts of sports cars has never flourished more, scratching the itch for high horsepower, customized vehicle upgrades, and better overall performance. So now, we have insanely powered automobiles with people who think they have what it takes to handle the fickle beast called speed. The only question is, where do they run? What would be the perfect yin to the yang of an adrenaline junkie with a revving, cackling, and thunderous American muscle at their disposal? The answer to that would be the perfect road. Enter the I-635. Have you ever been stuck in a traffic jam behind a slow car when you were late for an appointment? Many of us have. It's almost ironic to talk about slow drivers after highlighting the nature of America's deep-seated need for speed. But it was important enough that someone decided to do something about the traffic situation. The LBJ Express, officially known as Interstate 635, was a plan by the government to improve the transportation infrastructure in the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. Named after President Lyndon B. Johnson, who was a Texas native, the expressway aimed to alleviate congestion and provide a faster route for commuters and commercial traffic. The plan was to construct a second set of interstate lanes, parallel to the existing I-35 and US 75 expressways. This meant forming the new expressway below the existing ones, as it would be too costly otherwise, not to mention interrupting the flow of traffic in other expressways which were already raised above the ground. Groundbreaking occurred on January 18th of 2011 in a project that would require 4 years of work and determination to construct. Finally, on September 10th, 2015, the $2.6 billion project came to a close. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief or gave a whoop of joy when they experienced the more efficient option of travel provided by the LBJ Expressway. It was faster, way less congested, and safer than the chaotic interstate system in Dallas. But here's the part nobody saw coming. The engineers and expressway planners did not know it then, but they had just built the crown jewel for speed racing enthusiasts. They had created America's own unsanctioned Autobahn. Street racers were drawn from all across the country to the adrenaline-pumping experience of pushing their machines to the limit on this major thoroughfare, using the expansive lanes and minimal traffic during the off times to engage in high-speed contests. The freshly paved asphalt roads were perfect for maintaining a bike's composure at high speeds. The scarce traffic made it easy for cars and bikes to race without obstacles. The underground nature of the road, combined with multiple exits, made it near impossible for a chase helicopter to spot a speeding racer, let alone maintain contact with one. It was a nightmare for cops. Despite the increased sanctions and patrols around the areas, illegal racing persisted. It was nearly impossible to keep up with some of the cars and bikes used on the road. some of which were able to coast up to 170 miles per hour and hold without any trouble. But as is the case where caution is thrown out the window, there's almost always a hefty price to pay for man's short-sightedness. On December 21, 2017, two motorists driving at extreme speeds collided. One was pronounced dead at the scene. On November 11, 2021, a lone rider crashed at high speeds on the express lane, dead on arrival. The grim list continues. Regular motorists are not spared. Motorcyclists traveling within reasonable speed limits are also caught in the fray. Innocent bystanders and pedestrians trying to make a crossing sometimes get hit by other impatient drivers. Was the LBJ Expressway a mistake too costly to be reversed? Or was it an inevitable consequence of men's need for speed?